All right, what's up, Shellheads? We got a brand new trailer for the upcoming game TMNT Mutants Unleashed, dropping October 18th, and we are jumping into it. I sincerely hope that this is given the same level of continuity that the movies and the TV show had. Just what a feat to be able to tell one continuous story. And it's not even that big of an ask. Introduce a new type of character, introduce a new move set, introduce a new accessory. Don't do anything in the game that blatantly contradicts anything that's come before it, and you're off to the races. Nothing more. But first off, this whole thing looks stunning.
Hi again, guys.
Y'all, this game looks awesome. It really feels like it's the same tone and style, just adapted for the new platform. Like the level of continuous tone that we have seen so far, I dare say, is unprecedented as a full and complete package for a solitary era of Turtles storytelling. And I know I've said this a lot for this version of the Turtles, but this is yet another example of modernized retro done exactly correct. I like that the trailer is narrated by April in the style of her giving a news report. It's like I said about the TV show, a lot of this stuff is targeted for kids. This is very clearly a version of the Turtles that is based around a younger audience. That means that it doesn't necessarily need to and could definitely get away with not putting forward the level of effort to all of the small things that they are putting forward. I so see the fingerprints of voices involved that grew up on the 80s cartoon and said, okay, awesome, but what if continued effort and continuity? Somewhere a fan of the Fred Wolf cartoon is incredibly angry, but hey, I'm just telling the truth. But anyway, 80s cartoon apologists sound off below. We continue with Mikey fighting a new type of rodent mutant. Again, all we need to do, slip him into a movie, shared universe. It's fantastic. They continue to do a great job of utilizing the setup that they created for themselves with Mutant Mayhem very well. It was one giant kaiju based around a whole bunch of individual creatures exposed to the ooze. So why not have a variety of different mutants? And that is exactly what this is continuing. I do think it's interesting that this marks twice that we have seen a reference to Bebop and Rocksteady that isn't flat out, they are two of the good guys. If this is given a level of continuity that we've seen with the other aspects of telling this story, I'm curious how they're going to handle these two in particular. I think they're setting themselves up for success with almost like an anti-hero role, but it'll be curious exactly what story they tell, especially with this being a trilogy. And clearly, we are going to get Shredder in the second one. Famously, those two have been villains alongside Shredder. And honestly, I'm not sure longtime fans are going to fully embrace a complete and total face turn for those two. unless you tell the story over multiple movies. One thing that I'm really appreciating about everything that I have seen so far is that it is picking up right where the other ones leave off, and it all makes sense that it's all happening within the context of the same shared universe. The fact is, we live in a time with multiple forms of technology that allow for high definition storytelling in big and immersive environments. That looks like movies, that looks like TV shows, that looks like video games that seem to be open world, that are explorable, that give you the feeling of being in this place with these characters. And it does feel like they're continuing the effort towards displaying four strong individuals coming together to form the perfect complete team. It looks like each of the turtles will have their own sections, or hopefully have their own move sets. I do think it will lose a little something if it's four clones just with unique weapons. All in all, this has me excited for the game. I am going to check it out once it drops. Like I said, I have hopes for it. I think it looks like a fun addition to the Turtles canon. We also got an additional trailer for the action figures that are going to be released alongside the video game, where you buy them, there's codes, there's stories in them, you get new skins in the game. First off, brilliant from a wholesale marketing standpoint, but also shellheads of a particular vintage will tell you that a big part of their experience with the franchise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came by way of hours spent playing with and collecting the action figures, the toys, the accessories. And as a shellhead of that particular vintage, I'm stoked to see that effort is being put into this. That isn't just another cash grab. Again, kind of like the game, this is another opportunity to literally have continuity across everything. Introduce an accessory and then have that accessory show up in a movie. Done. It's even simpler with the toy line. And it's funny, again, being helmed by longtime shellheads that grew up on the 80s cartoons is bearing an impact, because everybody knows that that was just a full on toy catalog in animation from start to finish. It had its high points, it had its low points, but it was all about the toy line. So why not incorporate this whole other facet that isn't just a cash grab? And it's just cool to see the Turtles with a strong toy shelf presence again. So sound off below. Let me know what'd you think of the trailer. Are you going to pick up the game? Are you excited for more adventures in this universe? While you're at it, make sure you're subscribed. Tick that bell so that way you do not miss any of the uploads. There will be a review of the game. We're still continuing on our series covering different arcs within the comics and so much more. Until next time, Cowabunga, Shellheads.